What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of David Confused, number 13. Episode 13 is brought to you by Totino's Pizza Rolls. When you were a little kid, did you ever want to grow up and be a Totino's pizza boy? Well, now you can. All you have to do is just go to the grocery store, buy a 48 pack of those bad boys, and pop them in the oven. Totino's Pizza Rolls, almost as good as having a real pizza, but better. Because you can put those little pockets, those little flaming hot lava nuggets right in your coat pocket and use them as a little hand warmer because it's starting to get cold outside. They'll probably last for a couple hours, and then they're nice and warm. Pop them in for a snack. Totino's Pizza Rolls, hand warmer / snack that's 100% good for you. Thank you to our sponsor, Totino's. What's going on, everyone? Thanksgiving is in the books. Tea-giving 2020 COVID edition. And it was a weird one. I personally just hung out with my immediate family and did the first Thanksgiving Zoom call, which was kind of strange, but it ended up working out. If you know me, you know I love pumpkin pie, so I had extra amounts of that and played a little turkey bowl. Got the fellas together for the annual Thanksgiving Turkey Bowl flag football game. Had a touchdown, a couple interceptions, no big deal. But no real injuries, and that is the ultimate victory. Speaking of football, if you guys don't know, I do have that betting show, Cash Ball, also on my YouTube page. Like, subscribe, comment if you haven't already. Or not. You just help me out if you did. And episode 13. Just got the news, actually, that I think California is in store for another lockdown. Hopefully the gyms and all this shit won't close again. We're in the ultimate no man's land period right now. Things are starting to shut down. Then you're hearing Fresno and Clovis aren't going to enforce it. Who knows? Who gives a fuck at this point? Work is going good. Another lockdown might mean a boost for your boy. So that might be good. But speaking of which, I was driving around, and since it is holiday season, I didn't realize Marie Callender's is poppin'. I was driving by Fresno State on Shaw, and there is that Black Angus right there it looks like it's been run down for about 50 years. That parking lot in front of it was just absolutely just swarming with people. It looked like some kind of like human cornfield maze because everyone was all zigzagged around. And I didn't even know Marie Callender's was still open, but there was an article in the Fresno Bee explaining the zigzagging line, and they were waiting for pies. Marie Callender's, Marie, God bless her soul. She probably just opens for like one holiday weekend out of the year and just sells out and goes back into Oakhurst and does some meth. I thought that place was closed. I guess they just can pop it back open at will. Shout out Marie Callender's. I think it's a restaurant too. But COVID probably knocked that out. A little side note, also, if you know me and if you've ridden in my Ford Focus, you know that the time on that bad boy has been off since almost the first day I had it. I absolutely refuse to change the time in my car's little internal clock on the dashboard, and every single daylight savings, it would be off by another hour. And now, if you do the math, it's been almost 10 years and it's starting to finally circle back up over the clock. So the next cycle is going to be the right time. I'm not saying I outsmarted the system because even a broken clock is right 2 times out of the day, but that'll be nice. Speaking of my car, I also had another emergency flasher about the brake fluid, so I decided to fix that. So that's nice. I'm not driving with the chicken with my head cut off anymore, possibly having the brakes go out at any second. Also, I know y'all are probably big fight fans. I did see that Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. fight. That was extremely strange. It seemed like some kind of surreal, futuristic, dystopian entertainment venue. And I say that because it was like this big boxing ring with no one there. But it was actually done pretty well. I think Thriller put it on. Bunch of light shows. You had Snoop Dogg commentating. He also performed. So you would have like a fight in the undercard, and then you would have like a performer. I think like Sway Lee of Ray Stremmerd was performing, and others. Squeeze me. So that was a cool setup, but it was also just extremely weird. No one was there. So they made lemonade with lemons, I guess. Jake Paul beat the shit out of Nate Washington, which he's also like a foot taller and outweighed him by probably 100 pounds, but that was not expected. And then Big Mike, Iron Mike, and Roy Jones Jr. It was kind of what you would expect, I guess. Tyson still looked like he could hit anyone alive and just instantly kill him if you hit him in the face with his super intense shots and blows. Roy Jones Jr. looked good. It's still crazy that they're both over 50 and moving like that, so you got to give it to him. I think Tyson lost like 100 pounds for this fight. So shout out Iron Mike. Just kind of seeing those guys finish it out, though, was very impressive. I decided this year to, since I moved into my new place, pay for cable and Wi-Fi, which is new for me. I didn't want to do it, but I strictly did it for sports. I'm tired of streaming shit online. I'm tired of having to go through different periscopes like I had to do for the Tyson fight, where you're constantly just swinging on these platforms for about 3 minutes at a time. These people, who are just angels, are just filming whatever event and putting it on Periscope, and then when they get caught, it vanishes and you have to jump to another one. It's free, but it's also annoying as fuck. So I decided to pay an arm and a fucking leg for this cable, and now I can't even use it. It used to be with the app on your phone, if you pay for fucking cable and I'm somewhere else, I should be able to go on my phone and watch wherever the fuck I want on my app because I paid good money for this. And technology should allow this to happen seamlessly. Now when I'm not at home and I try to watch goddamn Thursday Night Football on my phone, it says you need to log into your home Wi-Fi to access this? Are you kidding me? What's the purpose of even streaming shit on my phone then? Watch, I'm going to call in, they're going to say, oh, that's an extra $30 more. Are you kidding me? Comcast, guess what? As soon as the last bowl game this season, I am canceling the subscription. And this won't be the last you hear from me. But until then, I'm freaking shackled to this Comcast deal, which is horse. But it is worth it because I do love watching these games. Now, speaking of things that aren't working right, because the new iPhone's out, my goddamn iPhone battery is starting to drain like a mother. I don't know about you guys, But I used to be, I had like a day and a half on one full charge, and now it's probably like 6 hours, and then I have to just charge my phone again. I wouldn't be as mad unless Apple straight up came, unless I didn't know that Apple legit came out and said that they did this on purpose, so people have to buy new phones. Are you kidding me, Apple? Don't make me go back to my goddamn flip phone. I'm tired of this shit. Now on to everyone's favorite segment, Tales from the Road. This one is particularly spicy because I almost had to fight a guy. He's an old man, and he was just being a little nosy. I'm driving around on the east side of town, and I park in front of a house, minding my own business, and because it is a newer community, the addresses don't register in Google Maps. So I was trying to figure out this address. I'm in front of this house, and this freaking old man with this freaking beer belly and this freaking little toy freaking yip yap dog, Chihuahua, are just walking right by me. The guy kind of gives me this weird stink eye as he's walking by. I'm just parked in front of a house. I'm not doing anything wrong. I end up doing looking back, calling the customer, doing a lap around the block, and realizing I was at the right house. So I come back, park. As soon as I get out, this guy's walking back, and he goes, hey, did you find what you're looking for, pal? And I was like, whatever. Like, just being nice. I was like, oh yeah, I found the house. As I'm walking up to the house, once again, trying to be nice. Make the delivery. As I'm walking back out, the guy is still standing adjacent to my car, and he just has the audacity to go, so what delivery company do you work for anyway? Don't even look at him. Take 2 more steps, get in the car, and skirt, peel out right in his face. Freaking dust and asphalt just flying all over his face. Suck it, old man. Mind your own goddamn business. I was taken aback when he asked that, though, but thinking back on it, I should have done one of 2 things. One, I should have said, oh, it's a company called Nunya. He goes, oh, Nunya. Go, Nunya business. Or the second one would be like, oh, what company? I'd be like, oh, male gigolo service. And then you'd be like, yeah. And I'll freaking fist pump him, and then I would leave. It's like, Jesus, dude. Who the fuck are you? What if I was a psycho and I went and just attacked you for talking to me? You don't know me. Also, a couple weird things that happened to me. Strangely, even though it's cold outside, people are answering with less and less clothes. There's a large, obese man that sometimes will answer with just a robe on and nothing else, or maybe some tidy whities. It's not fun, but it comes with the territory. It's not an easy job, but someone's got to do it. Going back, now that I am driving around, I do remember something I said in prior podcasts about Trump didn't want to admit defeat just so guys can keep flying their Trump flags around because they're having too much fun with it. And then I beg the question, like, when is the moment that the huge Trump supporter that he takes down his flag on his lifted truck, they freaking one-upped me, and they're playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers. I was driving, and now instead of Trump flags, it just has "fuck Biden" in all caps. And then something in smaller font, I don't know what it says under it, probably like, this thing's a hoax, or recount, or some shit, fraudulent vote. But it's like, man, I need to get into the car flagging business. Also, driving around too, it's funny to me that because all these places have to eat outside, all these restaurants, they have these like big tents that are all set up. And you look at them and there's like absolutely no windows or openings at all. And it's like, well, like, oh, it's like cold. Like, you don't want these things open. It's cold outside. But it's like literally the same exact thing as eating in the restaurant. Usually they're like in these big white like little teepees too. And they don't even have the tops of the teepees opened up, so you have all the freaking steam and all the COVID just funneling to the top in a little smokestack like we got a fucking new pope on the on deck circle. It's funny to me just the that's just the pandemic in a nutshell is just everyone trying their best but just not thinking things through and just making things almost worse. But people just want their goddamn Tahoe Joes back. Also driving around, it is funny because I'm in Parlier a lot, and when you drive into the community, it says Parlier, a fine community. Like, come on, Parlier, give yourself a little bit more credit. A fine, it's not just fine, it's at least a little bit above average. Parlier is so small, and I can say this because I'm from Madera Ranchos, which is probably the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. But you know, you're in a small town when you're just driving by buildings and it says medical dental. Like, that's the name of it. It just says medical dental on the outside of it. In the power rankings, though, I feel like Parlier is on the come up. They just got a new Starbucks. I think there's a Subway there, so pretty on par with the Ranchos. Ooh. Stay tuned for next episode, and I will come out with a power ranking of all of these satellite ag towns in the valley, in the Central Valley of California. So stay tuned. Also, I'm going to leave my number for the first time. I'm going to finally remember. And people that are watching, feel free to send in an email, a voicemail, a picture. Literally send in anything and I will discuss it on the pod next week. Also, huge news for the pod. Cyber Monday was upon us. I hope everyone got their holiday shopping done. It's a big day for guys like me that love deals. New addition to the pod, we got the camera coming in. So next pod, look for that, and that will give me access to even more reviews because my fucking GoPro broke. So keep an eye out for that. A lot more content coming at you. Finally getting the camera to start balling out. A lot in store for the end of 2020 and 2021. We just need things to fucking open up again and get this vaccine pumping so we can open this shit up. One more thing. Shows are starting to open up across the country. My homie Mike Wooten, who was on one of the first episodes of the podcast, is throwing a little barnyard show in his garage. I'm going to try to make that if I get off of work in time, late Friday. People are slowly trying to come out of the hibernation zones and start doing live music back and live shows back in the rotation. Also, I did have contact with Uncle Lou at Fieldhouse. Might be able to get something on the patio going. So keep you guys updated with that. A lot of stuff on the stove, a lot of pots on the burners. We're just going to handle Christmas, and then after that, we're going to make 2021 our bitch. David Confused, lucky number 13, episode over and out. if you guys are still watching this and you're not subscribed, or if you don't leave a comment, I will personally track you down and find you Liam Neeson style. Not like Taken, like Qui-Gon Jinn. Until next time, y'all. Peace.